Hey guys, Sure Shot Midget here. So I have an airsoft gun to do a video on. So this one is one that I put together for myself. So this is actually a gas blowback. So you can probably tell the title of the video. It is a GMP WOC. So I just wanted to put together like a gas blowback M4 just to shoot around in the backyard, give me some sort of sensation of, you know, shooting my AR, you know, which I can't shoot in my backyard. I actually purchased this from my brother. He got it in a trade or something. It was in bad shape. The capsule nut was loose, the handguard was wobbly, the front sight, the triangle sight was literally like spinning. Absolute crap. The person that he got it from had no idea what he was doing. Ended up buying it and basically adding everything on here. So, I'll just start from the back. We have a Magpul stock metal buffer tube, ambi sling mount, GMP receiver. Now, I do wish this was the Skull Frog logo. I had one of these a long time ago, and it had the Skull Frog logo, and those are just so nice, so cool looking. This one's not that. It's just the basic GMP. Kind of crappy, but whatever. We also have a Magpul pistol grip. It's one of the thicker ones. The receiver obviously is metal. The scope on here is a center point. It is a 3-9 by 40. Just got the basic controls. Does have full auto, but it just doesn't function on full auto. It is pretty hot out here. I've never shot it as warm as this, so we'll see, but typically these things just don't work on full auto. The rail on here is a Daniel Defense RAS2, it says. It's got the trademarks and everything. Savannah, Georgia, M4A1 RAS2. It's just a Picatinny all throughout. Looks really nice. The barrel here is marked NATO. It's got like the NATO markings, 1 in 7 twist, MP, which is magnetic particle tested for like real guns. Now this I actually got from my brother as well, and tossed it on here because it just had the crappy system on the front. It is missing 2 screws, but for airsoft it's okay. I got the gun for a pretty decent price. I also got this for my brother. This is a Magpul RVG. Toss that on there. Kind of complete the MOE Magpul look, I guess. I'm not typically a fan of Magpul, but they do make good stuff. I just don't try to plaster my guns in it. The barrel is only a 14.5 inch, I believe, because this was just an M4. The muzzle brake on here, don't know what brand it is, but it's the threads on here I think are negative, or is it positive? It's the opposite of what it normally is. Most airsoft guns, so it's the opposite. And my brother happened to have this which fit, and then I used some shims to time it properly, like I would on a real one, so that, you know, the ports are facing the right way. And doesn't that look nice? My opinion, at least. So that's pretty much with the externals. There is a couple of other things I want to mention. One, this charging handle latch is extended. I did that because with the scope on here, it's hard to get your fingers in there to grab it. This one, with it being extended, I can do it with one hand. Super easy. That is from Palmetto State. I purchased that for an AR. Never ended up using it because I just got a different ambi charging handle for my AR pistol. So this is just the leftover, and I decided, why not toss it on here? Don't plan on building another AR anytime soon, so I won't need that. So I just toss it on here. Now, the bolt carrier that I'm using is actually S&T. Sounds awful, doesn't it? The original GMP bolts are not very good. I should have brought it down here. It's completely aluminum. The bolt lock is made of steel, at least the portion that touches the bolt. So it wears the bolt carrier out really quickly, and the bolt just doesn't lock back. Whereas this S&T version, all black colored, which I like better than the gray GMP, it actually has a steel insert where the bolt hits to lock it back. So I decided to run this. This bolt carrier is also a little bit heavier, so it kicks a little bit more. So during the winter, if I would ever use this, I would probably need to use MAP gas, but with it being like 80 degrees out here, I can just use propane and it should do just fine. The charging handle that I have in here is actually an AR style. It's a real one. I just had to cut down the sides. I actually have 2 spare nozzles for this gun, so that's pretty nice. This one is the used one, but I have 2 brand new ones. The buffer that I have in here is a WE buffer that is metal. It has 1 metal washer or metal ball bearing in there, a big one, a really big one, and then it's just got a spring, which is, you know, making it so that ball bearing does not rattle around. And this is heavier than the stock one, so that will increase the recoil with the heavier bolts. So now the bolt lock still isn't perfect. I even glued a piece of plastic on the back of the lock here where it will actually trip the bolt lock, and sometimes it still doesn't lock back. So it's kind of a pet peeve of mine, these gas blowback rifles not functioning properly and just not locking back. But I've done some modifications to try to help with that. Now the mag holds like 50 rounds, so really you got a lot of rounds before you're even out. I also should mention this propane tank's probably like a third filled. It's running out. I really need to get some more. I also am going to get some matte gas. Try it. Okay, it shot like 3 BBs and then just sputtered, and now it's a dead trigger. See, I told you. They just don't work on full auto. It is overhopping from this distance, but here we go. And I know you're not going to be able to tell with the recoil, but it's actually really good. It's perceivable. It's like shooting a 22 at least. Okay, it locked back, but it's definitely running out of juice there. Man, on a full charge of gas on a warm day, this thing is really nice. Very snappy. Alright, so. The trigger has always been really nice on these, in my opinion. It's kind of got a long reset. See how it has to go forward, but it always resets, and I've never ever had a problem with these trigger sets going out. Since sometimes when it fails to lock back, but racking it ends up locking it. Basically, if it stops feeding while I'm firing the gun, and it's, you know, I know it's empty, but it didn't lock open, so I can just rack it, lock it, so that I can use the bolt lock on the reload. So I'm pretty happy with it overall. I'd say pretty much everything the gun itself, I think I paid my brother $350 or $400 for, and then I spent $75 on the 2 spare nozzles, and I got a spare bolt and some other spare parts. E-Bike had a kit for sale, but that bolt ended up not working. It was like the negative pressure with this stupid thing on the back that just gets stuck in the buffer tube. It was a waste of money. But I did get 2 brand new nozzles out of it, and these GMP nozzles are impossible to find otherwise. If you go on Google and like try to find a GMP WOC nozzle, impossible. And the GMP nozzles are the best nozzles. I seriously don't recommend any of the other kinds. They are the best plastic ones.